This is Wendy. She's a knobbstrupper mare. Now, we're actually cleaning off. This is the second foot we started with. And her sole is actually coming off really nice. Will is taking the chunk out of that and just ripping it off. Now, she has no heel on this foot, which is very odd. So we have to make a heel. It's something that does happen. So it's not uncommon. And you see he's trying to chop it back. That way it actually has a heel where it's supposed to be. It looks deeper than what it actually is. It's actually not that deep in there. There is literally just no heel. So the hoof looks like one solid size or no angle to it. Here he is after he's done nipping through it. So now he's going to put it between his legs because this mare likes to have her hooves underneath her body. She doesn't like to have them out to the side, so we try to accommodate the horse the best we can. We're trying to cut out the sole. The sole is very soft, so there's no reason for us to use the boss cutter or grinder. So now he's just doing the actual hoof. We don't take off a crud load of hoof. I mean, it's bad if you take off too much. And I've seen people, when they put shoes on, they just tear that hoof apart really, really bad just to make it so a shoe can be on there. I don't like that. You want to make it enough so they can stand on their hoof. And her walls are very brittle, so you see them just breaking off real easily. We want to give her chances to stand. Now I'm starting on this. This is actually the first hoof we started with. This is not the second one. And you can see how well it turned out so far. So this is kind of out of order. That's my bad. You see here trying to start with that other hoof too. Will and I were taking tag team because this mare has pretty gnarly feet. She hadn't been done in about 6 months, but she generally stays pretty well with her feet. They don't grow super fast, but she's obviously been in mud. We had to grind off some mud. So we know that they obviously have been pretty soft. Now we're starting to use the grinder just to level everything out. It's nothing like chopping anything off or grinding. You see, he's trying to make a heel there. He's taking a little bit of more toe off. That way it looks like there's an actual heel. And it's just leveling it out. Because obviously with nippers, we're not exactly trying to make it level. Now, Will did a lot with the back feet. I barely did anything. I just kind of cleaned them out and took off a little bit of frog. He did most of everything here. And they came out beautiful. Now, because she does stand in a lot of moisture, she does have a little bit of thrush. It's not super terrible. But I know that during the winter, it might rain, so she's probably going to have it more thrush. Will's been doing a really good job taking out most of this sole. He got the wall done. He got the heels down because they were just boxy. They weren't like really bad. We just didn't want to use the grinder for everything because that would have really just killed the battery. But he's doing an epic job right here. At this point, we've already been here like 3.5 hours, so we're already tired and exhausted. Some of these feet weren't exactly easy to do. They were pretty thick, pretty hard. And just getting them to the level of actual feet was a difficult task. Especially not being done in, like I said, 6 months, but that's okay. Not everyone can get horse feet done, every 8 weeks. And some horses don't even need them done every 8 weeks. I had a mare that could be done every 3 years, and she was perfectly fine. Then I have another horse that needs to be done literally like clockwork every 6 to 8 weeks, and that's a pain in the butt sometimes. You can see now he's grinding it down. There is no toe on this horse. This is the foot she likes to rest on. So she has no toe on this hoof, and she likes to drag it. Now, I did tell my friend, because this is my friend's horse, to go ahead and just have her go over poles to learn to pick up her feet a little bit more. She's just lazy on this side. And that happens. There's a lot of horses like that. I have a foal that is lazy on both back legs. So I got to start using her over poles. When they're not used a lot, they just start getting lazy. No one's fault. It's just what they do. Now that he's finishing up on this hoof, this actually looks really good. I'm starting on the other side. I'm just taking off some of the wall. Now, at this point, I have been exhausted. It's very tiring for me, and my back is actually hurting. We don't do this for a living. We just do this for helping people and friends that need it, because there aren't very many farriers, and they've gotten so expensive these days. So I put her foot down, and now Will is going at it. He uses the stand, which I completely understand. He's taking off some of that lovely sole. And the sole is actually very easy to come off. It kind of just peeled off. So now he's going after the wall. And this hoof actually grew upright, so it actually formed very nicely. So it was just taking off like an inch or two of hoof, and it was fine. And her feet, because she does stand in mud, they're actually not hard to trim. She did take her foot away, so I had to cut away from that, and now I brought it back. And you can see he actually gets going, and he goes around the whole thing pretty quickly for us. We don't, like I said, we don't do this on a daily basis. We don't do other clients' horses. We just do horses that need to be done. Like, I've known this friend for over 30 years. This isn't like something we do as a business. We just want to make sure people understand horse feet and understand they can probably do their own horse feet as long as they know how to do it. Farriers do make a lot of money off of this, and it's not something that's super difficult. It just does take a lot of muscle. Now you can see the one side versus the other side where he's taken off the sole, and he's actually gotten the wall down to where it's supposed to be. It looks much nicer. So now he's working on the other side. Taking off some of that, and you'll see these pictures now showing what we've done. This was the first hoof we worked on. And this just shows how much we took off compared to the other front hoof. And then we cleaned it up, and there's the other picture of the other front hoof. I was working on the other front foot, and I was taking out some of the sole. It actually worked out really well. She actually stood there beautifully for me. Not much of an issue, and these nippers are nice and sharp, so it actually helped out a lot. Trying to grind that other front foot. This was the second foot we worked on. Grinding that out really nicely, making sure it's nice and level, and then getting the front done. I always like to do the front, just kind of make it look nice. Especially she had a lot of mud caked around the wall of her foot. I wanted to make sure that came off. And Wynn is such a nice mare. She'll stand there for anything. And that's where was her feet.